Whenever I watch a movie with a very interesting and a very different premise, a very different plot, there's one question that pops in my head every time, and that question is, how are they going to wrap things up? How are they going to end this movie? Will the movie be able to pay off whatever it is doing at this point in time? And whenever that is done right, I am absolutely happy. But then there's the curious case of the movie, The Substance. The Substance was recently released and it has got some great reviews. The movie is pretty hyped and I watched it, but I thought the ending of the movie wasn't just for me. And I'm not talking all about the goreness that was shown. I'm actually talking about the point at which the movie should have ended. Now, I'm not changing the ending of this movie. I'm not changing the narrative what the movie was setting up to build. I'm not changing any of that. I'm just cut shorting the movie from a particular length. And in fact, there were 2 points where I thought the movie should have ended, and believe me, the first point came in when the movie had still 40 minutes to go, and the second point came in when the movie still had 20 minutes to go. Don't worry, I'll explain everything about it, but let me first say a couple of things. The movie, other than that, is very well made. The movie has its own voice, the movie has its own narrative, the movie has a very good commentary on how we as humans strive for the past. Like, we are so greedy about the past, about the prime time of our body. When you grow old, you think the 20s were the best time of me, the 30s were the best time of me, or even the teens were the best times for me. And the movie really does a very good job on showing how people treat you when you grow old. Our main character is straight away fired from a job because she was too old for that part. So basically, the commentary was set, the narrative was set for the movie, and also the movie had its own voice. Now, what I mean by that, the cinematography of this movie was a clear-cut different character. It was a different voice. When you watch the movie, from the very first shot, you can sense that this movie is something else. This movie will have its own voice. Shots like these establishes that our main character, how the main character is feeling. The main character is feeling caged up. The main character is feeling claustrophobic, and scenes like this really gives us the impression of how uncomfortable our main character is in its own skin, and that actually drives the desperation of our main character to change its own self. It is basically a physical representation of what our character is feeling. Basically, a fantastic job with that, and of course the music of the movie as well. The music of the movie also gets credit, and of course the acting, the performances and everything. But what about the ending? So this is the first point where I thought the movie should have ended, and you can see the movie still have almost over 40 minutes to go, and the reason is pretty simple, because at this point in time, our main character, the older character, the host, have lost, because the younger character Sue was stealing life from the older character. And eventually, where does this keep our main character? Our main character is now at a stage where she has nothing. Let's assume she was 50 years old at that point in time where she started to use the substance. Then she turned into a character who was 25 years old, but then the 25-year-old was stealing everything from the 50-year-old, and our 50-year-old is the main character, of course, and that character is now, say, perhaps 75-80 years old. So our main character has lost what it had, and that was a great lesson about not being greedy of time. So this is where I thought the movie should have ended in the first place, because here we have the lesson about how we should be happy with ourselves and should be happy where we are, because if you try to change it, you may end up losing what you already had. So this was a great lesson in itself. But then I saw the movie still had 40 odd minutes to go, and then what the movie did after that, it was still good. It was still better than the ending that I earlier thought, until it was not. Because this is the second point where I thought the movie should have ended, and this is the point where our younger character Sue realizes that she will die eventually. She is losing everything. But then what does she do? She uses the activator once again, and it was clearly mentioned on the activator that it is for only one-time use, and definitely that was going to create a lot of problems, and it does create a lot of problem. And the younger character also realizes that what she already had, she have lost everything. So this was perhaps a pretty good end, but the movie still goes on. The movie still have about 20 minutes to go, and whatever the movie did after these 20 minutes, it was just kind of a show off from the prosthetics department of what they are capable of. The prosthetics department in this movie did a fantastic job, but after this point, whatever they did, whatever fiasco that they made, it was just kind of showing off of what they are capable of and nothing else. And of course the movie was a lot gorier after that, and I don't have a lot of problem with the goriness because it's a choice, but still the movie should have ended here, because I am all open for your suggestions as well. This was just my perspective, this was just my take on the ending, and as I said, I didn't change the ending. I just cut short the movie by about 20 minutes. I just cancelled out all the goriness that we had after this scene, and the movie essentially feels the same. just a little less on goriness. But hey, do tell me in the comments what were your thoughts on all of my perspective here, and also do tell me in the comments what were your thoughts after watching this movie. Did you also have the same thought just like I did? So yeah, I'm open for that. Thank you so much for watching.